Trunks' eyes slid shut again, and he brought his hands up from the ground to touch and stroke his father's neck and hair. He found that rubbing in a particular spot just below the right ear brought out a deep purr from Vegeta's throat. Balancing himself on one hand, Vegeta played with one of the nipples on Trunks' chest, squeezing it and rubbing it between his finger and thumb to make it harden. He found that if he dug his fingernail into one area, it would make the boy squirm slightly beneath him as his chest rose from heavy breathing. The sharp feeling of both pain and pleasure kept on shooting up his back to leave a burning trail until they reached the very top of his throat. Then they would be released as soft moans and cries from his mouth as Vegeta thrust himself deeper and deeper into his future son's body. Trunks decided to experiment quickly by tensing the muscles around his groin to see what that would do. Vegeta seemed to sense this and laughed softly to himself as he broke away from the kiss with a cruel smirk. Taking a deep breath, Vegeta pushed himself forward faster and harder than he had ever done before, drawing out another cry, which was filled with more pain and shock than anything else. His blue eyes slid open slightly, only to reveal that he wasn't finished yet. He could feel the body on top of him, reaching its climax. Suddenly, Vegeta reared his head up to let out a cry that sounded like the excitement of a wolf that had found its prey, and the seed was released into his body. Oh!
Had to drink some water after that.
The future Demi-Saiyan bit his lip. He wasn't going to cry out again. He wasn't going to seem weak. He wasn't going to scream, but he felt like he would explode soon if he didn't let out something. Father! He opened his mouth to let out the horrific cry as he felt the last of his own seed spilling out onto the floor between his legs. The scream died down, and all he could do was try to get his breathing back to normal. He felt one more push inside his body just to tease him, before Vegeta gently slid away and sat beside him. "Satisfied now?" the prince said with his famous smirk. Trunks couldn't speak. He could only nod as he felt a few trickles of warm blood leak out of his body where Vegeta had been brutally tearing at the inner flesh. Vegeta! Different voice. Vegeta! Both heads snapped toward the door as they heard Bulma banging on the other side. I heard Trunks screaming! What's going on? "Keep your hair on, woman!" Vegeta called back as he stood and slid the black shorts back over his hips. "Me and Trunks were just doing some late-night training. Not that it's any business of yours. Go back to bed. I'll be there in a few minutes." "You better be!" the woman's voice spoke from the other side of the door. "You're grouchy enough in the mornings." Females, Trunks heard his father's mutter, rolling his eyes as his footsteps were heard leaving. "You see, boy, if you go shooting your mouth off all the time, like your mother, you could end up in a lot of trouble." "Sure." Trunks nodded as he sat up and reached for his trousers. "Father, will you miss me when I go back tomorrow?" "I can't wait to see you go to see the back of you." Vegeta snorted as he went towards the door. Trunks smiled as he watched his father leave, knowing that it meant yes. The end. da da ba-da. Dragon, rock the Dragon Ball Z.
Alright, I found one. This is so